Hello. This video is about the user interface for weaponized chess. The user uses the two-button mouse that is assumed to exist to either click upon pieces that the user owns and controls, or the user uses the mouse in order to click on the menu bar at the top. Everyone knows how to use this type of menu bar. The submenus which are available at the top are the File submenu, which is primarily concerned with operations which change files, which let you load and save the games. The Play Change submenu, which is concerned with the ways that a user can change the way in which the game is played. The View submenu, which lets the user change what the user sees on the screen. The other two submenus, which I'm going to talk about, Undo and Action, have to do with the actions that a user can perform. Action submenu changes what happens when a user uses the mouse button to click upon user pieces. Normally, a user uses the mouse in order to change what happens with one piece. When the game starts, it is set so that the mouse will use the left button in order to select a piece to move, or use the right button in order to select a piece to fire. The user can change this by using this menu, so that it is assumed after the change that the action that has been changed to is what the user is trying to do. In this case, if the user uses the mouse, the user is trying to exchange an object that the piece controls. The Undo submenu allows the user to roll back actions that the user has performed. Now, going back to the File submenu, the New Game option allows the user, in order to stop the present game and load a new default game, a new standard game. The Load Game option allows the user to load a game which has already been saved on the disk. The Save Game option allows the user to save a game to the disk. Delete Save Game allows the user to manage his save games, to get rid of an old game that the user no longer wants. End Game is primarily meaningful in competitive mode. It ends a competitive game. Continue Game is used in the event there's a problem with the program and it crashes. After the game is restarted, the user can click Continue Game in order to get the game to restart at the closest point possible to where something went wrong. Stop Playing and Restart Playing have to do with the autoplay feature of the game. Under Play Change, one of the things that you can do is to autoplay the game. That causes the computer to play against itself. It becomes a sort of screensaver at that point, and you can use Stop Playing and Restart Playing in order to control whether or not the autoplaying continues or not. Board Editor starts a board editor, and I'll show you that. There are a number of actions that you can take in the board editor. You can either add or delete or move pieces on the board, or you can set the stun level of a pre-existing piece. If you have a projectile, you can use Set Projectile Direction to change the direction in which that projectile is traveling. You can use Set Stealth Lock On and Clear Stealth Lock On to predefine what your anti-stealth pieces see. Assuming that you're using the Add action, then once you're trying to add something, then you need to set all of these options so that the added piece will have a predefined characteristic. You need to set the color of the piece. You need to set whether or not it is a reinforcement. You need to set the type of orientation, whether it's a right or left piece, for example. You need to set the type of a piece, and then you need to set the level at which it's going to come onto the board. And once you set all those, then you can use the add operation in order to add the piece to the board. Finally, you can use change to a foreign language in order to change to the numerous foreign languages into which weaponized chess has been translated. I'll show you a few of those top menus. When you set the language, you also set the language that the documentation is presented in. Okay, now let's talk about the play chain submenu. When you're setting up a game, at the front you can use switch sides in order to change which side you're on, so that you can start playing as the white player instead of the black player. You can change the government type. There are 4 governments which are defined. These change the defensive abilities of your royalty type pieces, your king and your queen type pieces. There are lots of different ways you can change stealth. These are the ways that stealth is set when you start a standard game. Similarly, for submersion, this is how the submersion options are set when a standard game starts. You can also change the number of articles which are on the board. You can increase or decrease the number of container boxes which are in the game when you start the game. Similarly, you can change the number of defenses and weapons that are in the game. Or you can just add extra defenses. Or you can change the number of reinforcements which are in the game. You can change the off-level rocket range. That is the range at which a piece that is in the air firing a rocket can hit something that's on the ground. It's also how far away a piece that's at sub-level firing a rocket can hit a piece on the ground. The homing range, that is the distance from a firing SAM launcher at which it can lock on a enemy piece that's in the level in which it fires.